righty, we're rolling. We have got Gary Stokan, the executive director of the, I was going to say Peach Bowl. It is Peach Bowl. Chick Fil A Bowl right there, though. Mr. Bill's buddy right here. Mr. Bill says, good to see you again.
It's great to see you, Mr. Bill. I tell you, I like your pen and your...
He still got his...
What's amazing, you haven't used that for a Chick Fil A sandwich yet.
We said Mr. Bill is the meal ticket, so we leave it on him. If we ever get really desperate...
If we get bad, you know you can get a free lunch.
If we find Mr. Bill and we get him to take us to Chick Fil A. He is our emergency guy right there, though. So, but...
How many ACCs is this for Mr. Bill?
Mr. Bill's been to about 4 of them now. 4? So he's been to the Chick Fil A Bowl a couple of times down there.
Yeah, he got his pin.
He got down there and he came down for another game.
Clemson's greatest wins.
That was a good win down there. So, and I think he actually came down for South Carolina, Florida State. And he got down for the game down there before that too, though. His little buddy over here yet has not earned his stars yet. The jury's still out on him, Dabo said. So we will have to see with that, though. So you're gearing up for a busy season coming up right now, and we're going to talk about some of the events you got. Kickoff the college football season. You got a great game coming down.
We do. I mean, a lot of people are talking about Auburn being potentially a college football playoff semifinalist.
I picked them to win the SEC.
Did you? Well, Louisville, you know, I think Louisville is kind of one of those sleeper teams.
That's my sleeper team in ACC. It is.
You're talking about the transfers they have coming in, Fields kids from TCU, the 2 kids from Georgia on the backside. I think their defense under Grantham is going to be really, really special this year. They got to get a quarterback to step up, but Bobby Petrino coaches the offense so well that I'm sure they'll have somebody step to the forefront. We're really excited about the Auburn-Louisville game.
Even if the offense is a little bit slow coming along, that defense is going to keep them in every game.
I agree with you. I really
until the offense gets going.
Now, you got Auburn's offense, which is very, very special. They put up some yards, so I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think that at the end of the day, that whoever wins that game is going to project themselves high in the rankings, and if they hold serve, like you said, if Auburn holds serve the rest of the year, if they win it, if Louisville wins it, you know, that could really propel them in the ACC.
It will be interesting there, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see, too, with Will Muschamp there with the defense at Auburn. Last year, Auburn, you know, I watched Auburn and South Carolina play, and neither one of them could stop either one of them. Yeah. And it was up and down the field, though, and I think that they had a lot of games like that, though. But if they can get, you know, some defense, if he can come in and bring the defense to them, then they got a chance to be tough this year.
They're gonna be special with his defense and Lawson coming back at defensive tackle. Auburn, you know, Will Muschamp at Florida, I mean, year in, year out when he was there, their defense was top 10 in the country.
Right.
So having the type of that talent they have at Auburn, I think he'll have that defense ready to go. And as you said, Gus can put some points on the board. He'll move the ball offensively.
Yes, you got 2 offensive minds in that game right there. It's just a matter, I guess, who can get their offense on track.
That's right. Good point.
Talk to us a little bit about a lot of the activities and things going on with the game and all.
Well, we're really trying to make it like a bowl atmosphere. So we invite the teams in, we invite them to go through the College Football Hall of Fame because we want them to aspire to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because they are the type of players that 20 years from now could be inducted and enshrined in the College Football Hall of Fame. We also have a fan zone that's very, very special because we have both teams walk through the fan zone, through their fans, into the Georgia Dome to get ready for the game. And then we'll have a tailgate town outside of the Georgia Dome where we'll have a band playing and a lot of interactive games. So we just really try to make it a celebration of college football to kick off the college football season.
I'll tell you, the last time I played there, I was telling one of the Clemson players, we were talking about this yesterday, was hilarious. It was when Clemson beat LSU. I got bombarded by cows coming from the ceiling. And Coach Tony was like, watch out, and a cow hit me right in the head.
Is that right? Oh, yeah. We got parachuting cows also.
That's worth the price of it. To see all those cows coming from the sky there, though.
The parachuting cows, and we try and make it as much of a home game atmosphere as both teams' traditions will allow. So you feel like from the end zone, being where Auburn has it at their home game, the same with Louisville, all the way down to the introductions. We make it a home game in a neutral atmosphere. We split the tickets evenly, so there'll be 30,000 people from Louisville, 30,000 people from Auburn, sold out, and even in that Georgia Dome, you've got two college teams in a sold-out atmosphere. It is loud, and I think it takes the intensity level up to a new level as well.
It does, and I think that you just came out and within the last week and announced, I think your matchup for next year's game is going to be another great game.
Well, we've got Georgia, North Carolina next year, and then in 2017 when we open the new Atlanta Falcons Stadium, we've got two games. We've got Alabama against Florida State.
Wow.
On Saturday, and then on Monday we've got Georgia Tech versus Tennessee. So those games will be sold out. You know Tennessee's projection, the way they're going.
Right.
Georgia Tech has been picked today to win the ACC side of their division. So, and obviously Alabama, Florida State speaks for itself.
It will.
3 of the last 4 national championships have been between those two teams. So those are going to be great matchups. And then we're working on people in 18, 19, and 20. And then the other thing we announced last week is the Hall of Famers that get inducted in New York in early December are going to come to the Chick Fil A Peach Bowl, our New Year's 6 college football playoff game, and we're going to have them in the festivities during the Chick Fil A Peach Bowl, and we'll honor them on the field in the third quarter. We'll bring them into the College Football Hall of Fame and let them actually be, inducted and enshrined in the Hall of Fame. So we're going to integrate that as well during Chick Fil A Peach Bowl.
Man, that is neat right there. We talked a little bit, but you might want to share with our viewers too on the progress of the new stadium you're going to be playing those games. That they are moving right along on that.
Yeah, they're all the way up, the second story, and they're moving forward for an April 2017 opening of the new stadium, which is going to be state-of-the-art, $1.4 billion.
Wow.
And it's going to have a jumbotron that's going to go all the way around 360 degrees, all the way around the top of the stadium, which is going to be unbelievable for fans and just make the experience all the better.
And I know that's probably is really going to be big too. Talk a little bit about how the Chick Fil A Bowl is moving into the playoff picture and how you're seeded for that, though, that there's a lot of good things going on with that coming up too.
Well, we were the first inaugural in history college football playoff New Year's 6 game this year with Ole Miss number 9 against TCU number 6. TCU, proved a lot of people that they should have been in the playoff by winning 42-3. This year we'll do the same. We'll host 2 top 10 teams, and then next year we'll host the semifinal games, the national semifinals of number 1 against number 4 or number 2 against number 3. Subsequent to that, we'll bid on the national championship game for January of 18. We'll know in November whether we won that bid or not as well.
Wow. And that would be great, too, if you get in the new place and all with playing that. That would be a great host city and great place to have a national championship game.
That first year could have Alabama, Florida State on Saturday to kick off the season, Georgia Tech, Tennessee, and the ACC ESPN primetime slot on Monday, Labor Day Monday, then the SEC championship in December, and then the college football playoff game in December with 2 top 10 teams, and then January 8th we would have the national championship game. That'd be quite a year for college football.
And I mean, just talk about too how this bowl has just within the last 5-10 years just jumped up there. I mean, just taking so many great steps along the way. And
well, it's hard to believe if you think back to the old Peach Bowl in 1985 was going to go out of business. And the business leaders, led by Ron Allen of Delta, who was the CEO at the time, said, we need to support this game. He wrote the first sponsorship check. And now for us to be mentioned in the same sentence as the rose, the sugar, the orange, and the cotton, who are 80 to 100 years old, and we're only 47 years old, that's quite an accomplishment. And it's due to a lot of great work by a lot of great volunteers, a lot of great staff people, and the underpinning the business community in Atlanta. So we're very blessed to be in the position we're in.
And our viewers in South Carolina, I can make it in 2.5 hours, but I think I-85 stands for the speed limit. But it's a short drive down there to come down to support the game. We got to get back down there. Mr. Bill wants to come back. He wants to come to another game.
We'd love to have Mr. Bill. We'd love to have Clemson or South Carolina. Both have been very good to us in the past in our Chick Fil A Peach Bowl games, and I think both led by Dabo Sweeney and Steve Spurrier. There's not many states that have the kind of leadership at the two top institutions that South Carolina does with Steve Spurrier and Dabo Sweeney.
That's true. Mr. Bill said he really enjoyed flying cows. He liked that. Coach Tony wants to talk to you about something else that a lot of people have not really thought about that you play a big part in, and that's your golf tournament.
Well, talking about golf, I hear that Coach Tony won the Dabo Sweeney golf tournament. You finished second.
Yeah, and that's usually the way it is. Before I had my arm surgery, we'd go out and play, and it'd come down the final hole every time we played. We decided on the final.
So in other words, you guys aren't working much, huh? You're playing a lot of golf.
It's bad. One of those football games going down to.
He's retiring after next year. I'm retiring in 2 years. I'm full-time media. We still do a little bit of teaching on the side, so there'll be plenty of time for that, though. But the one time in my life I shot even par, he shoots 71 and beat me by a stroke.
I just haven't. I was in that group that particular way there, dude. A couple things I just want to ask for. It's been amazing to see how the Peach Bowl and Chick Fil A Bowl is going over the year. I told you, I believe last time I met you, I made it to one of the first Peach Bowls I had back when I was 67 or 68. I believe. LSU beat Florida State
Stadium.
No, that was in Bobby Dodd.
Was that back out there?
In Bobby Dodd and Ron Sellers.
That's right.
Wide receiver for Florida State.
Calvin. Yeah, I wanted to check too about that golf tournament. When do you usually have the golf tournament that particular time period for the?
This year upcoming, it'll be May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We do it right after spring ball, so most of the coaches get done with spring ball and they come right down to Reynolds Plantation. Matter of fact, our broadcast this year is going to be on August 1st at 3 o'clock on ESPNU. So if anybody wants to check out Dabo's swing and Steve Spurrier's swing from South Carolina, as a matter of fact, South Carolina gets into the playoff. And I'll leave it at that.
We won't say how it comes out.
I'll leave it at that.
And I'm going to tell you what, you've got another guy. It was funny that we had on here a show about an hour ago that says his favorite pastime or relaxation is playing golf. Who's a heck of a golfer. That's Paul Johnson from Georgia Tech.
Well, they've won it, I think, 2 out of the last 3 years.
He John Barry, doesn't he?
John Barry is his celebrity alumnus. And between Sterling Sharp of South Carolina and John Barry, they are real interesting. Now, long drive, though. Bo Jackson won this year.
Wow.
Bo Jackson hit a drive.
Baseball swing,
318 yards. 318-yard drive to win the title this year.
Well, see, one of my former classmates who was ahead of me, Steve Fuller, plays with Dabo.
Steve's Dabo's partner. That's exactly right. Great putter. And one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
He was a heck of a high school athlete. I mean,
he's a heck of a college and pro athlete as well.
I mean, in high school, North Carolina recruited him in basketball. It was Oklahoma and Clemson who he nearly done in football. He lettered in baseball. He was a pitcher, first baseman. He ran track, ran the hurdles. That's what I ran too. He did everything. Wow. I mean, I don't know. He would have to kind of, during spring sports, pick a day. Whichever sport didn't play a game that day, he'd put on another uniform and go play. But he was like a 5-star letterman.
Quite an athlete.
He was. He was a heck of a player.
He's even a nicer person.
But he was willing to. And he was also valedictorian of the school. Is that right? Yeah.
Wow. I tell you what, he heads up a beautiful golf course in Hilton Head Island.
It's right here.
Austin Wood. I've never played, but
I haven't been down there either. We need to go down there. Get Steve up there.
I would love to be a member of that particular group here. Now we're going to ask you too, Gary, in regards to Georgia Dome. What will happen to Georgia Dome?
That's a good question. This new stadium right now, and you can go online and see go on to AtlantaFalcons.com, and they'll show you the progression of the new stadium. But it's literally about 20 yards to the Georgia Dome. That's how close they're being built. And then the Georgia Dome will be lowered, and they'll make it a grassy parking area for tailgating and parking.
Wow. So the Georgia Dome, thank goodness we were not in there that night. We thought it was going to be lowered one night when the ACC basketball tournament was in there, and a tornado came through, and I'd have freaked out out there. But I thought about that many a time when I was watching on TV that night. I think we may have gone to the ACC tournament that year instead, though. But I was watching that scoreboard swing back and forth, and I would have been gone.
That was a scary situation in Atlanta that time.
It was. And the thing, too, we wanted to mention how Chick Fil A owned the golf tournament tournament puts monies back into the school scholarships and all.
Yeah, we created the golf tournament. The Peach Bowl created the golf tournament about 8 years ago now, I think it is, and we went to Chick Fil A. Chick Fil A became the sponsor, and they've been a great partner on the kickoff game, on the bowl game, and the golf tournament. And we couldn't ask for better people to work with, better corporate sponsor, better name. And we're really blessed to have them as a partner.
All right, last question. We talked this earlier. Tell everybody what you still got in store for this summer. This does not wrap your summer up. You still got some more business to take care of.
We'll travel from here. We'll go to the Big Ten next week in Chicago, and then we traveled up to Providence to Newport for the American Athletic Conference. And then that's probably gets us to about first week in August, and then we got to really focus on getting ready for the Chick Fil A Kickoff game, which will be on September 5th on CBS at 3:30.
It will be here before you know it.
It's college football time. This is kind of the start of it all, and without me talking with Mr. Bill here, I don't know if I could start a college football season.
Or you know what he thinks about that.
Well,
that is his words of wisdom for today.
I can now get ready. Now that I've seen Mr. Bill and visited you guys, it is officially college football season.
Well, we always appreciate
Thanks for having us.
coming by. Gary Stokan, who is the president and CEO of the Chick Fil A Bowl.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you.